The more work that you are doing, the more work to rest ratio, the more you're going to sweat. But if you are somebody who is doing more strength training, then you're not really going to sweat at all. And another thing with regard to sweating is if you do find that you're not sweating as much, that could be due to the fact that you have eliminated carbohydrates from your diet. Because hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another Carnivore Q&A. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today's question comes from the Carnivore Diet for Beginners group on Facebook. Remember, had recently asked, curious, for those who work out, have you noticed that since starting carnivore that you sweat significantly less or not at all when working out? It just occurred to me this morning during my workout that everyone around me was sweating a lot and I was not, and my heart rate was between 130 to 170 depending on what activity I was doing for 70 minutes. I'm asking for scientific purposes to see if I'm a unicorn. Well, this is a great question, and with regard to sweating during working outs, the diet really isn't going to play too much of a factor. Rather, the type of workout that you're doing is going to play more of a factor, because I've been training now for over 22 years, and in over 22 years, I barely sweat when I work out, and the reason being is most of my training is geared towards strength. So when you are doing strength training, you're not really going to be training for a long enough duration, because you're doing very, very low periods of time where you're lifting weight, followed by long durations of rest periods. And with regard to sweating is your body's way of kind of protecting itself from overheating. Generally, when you get really hot, you're going to sweat, and that sweat is going to help to cool you off. And that sweating is partly going to be due to friction caused by the muscles. So if there is more friction of the muscle, then that's going to cause more heat generation, and it's going to cause you to sweat more. If you are doing something like strength endurance, where you are lifting a weight and you're performing repetitions of 15 to 20 plus repetitions, then there's going to be a lot more friction than if you're doing strength training where you're only performing 1 to 5 repetitions. Because if you're performing 1 to 5 repetitions, you're only lifting the weight for about 10 to 20 seconds, whereas if you're doing something like strength endurance, you're going to be lifting the weight for anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. So the more work that you are doing, the more work to rest ratio, the more you're going to sweat. But if you are somebody who is doing more strength training, then you're not really going to sweat at all. And another thing with regard to sweating is if you do find that you're not sweating as much, that could be due to the fact that you have eliminated carbohydrates from your diet. Because for every 1 molecule of glucose, that 1 molecule is going to hold on to 2 to 3 molecules of water. So when you end up removing glucose from your body and all of your glycogen stores have been depleted, you're not going to have as much water in your body. So because you don't have as much water, you're not going to be inclined to sweat as much. But overall, the diet won't play as much of a factor with regard to your sweating, as will the type of training that you are doing. The more strength-based training you're going to be doing, you're not going to be sweating as much because you're doing very low work to very high rest. And the more strength endurance, something like if you're doing circuit training or that type of stuff, then you're going to be sweating a lot more because you're going to be doing a lot of work and very little rest. But that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section so I can help you guys out. And that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the content. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.